finish for Phil Edmonds, who bowled consistently well all day. An excellent innings from Simon O'Donnell for his 45, and a most valuable little partnership that between O'Donnell and Holland right at the end of the innings. 257 for Australia, and the outstanding bowling came from three men, Botham in the second part of his bowling spell, where he finished up with 4 for 79, and the two spinners, Embury 24 overs 7 maidens, 2 for 41, and Edmonds 15.1 overs, 4 maidens and 4 for 40. At one stage the Australians were scoring 75 runs per 100 balls. It got down to just below 50, which is still a pretty good rate, but that over rate, I think I really must query. Well, had the players out there. We pick up play now with a score at 3 for no wicket. Each batsman, Gooch and Robinson, has made a single, and McDermott is coming in to bowl to Robinson.
Classic stroke off the legs by Robinson. Oh, that's beaten the fielder.
And in fact, if Australia had the short mid-wicket position that they have for Graham Gooch, that would have been straight into him. You can see it's at about 2 feet in the air. So he plays the shot there, and the ball goes up about 2 feet high. It would have been straight into that short mid-wicket. But it's interesting to note that Craig McDermott's now gone back to that very straight run-up. He tried at Nottingham, then went back to his angled run-up, but he's certainly using a much straighter run-up this morning.
That's beaten third slip. It's a chase for third man, but he's no chance of cutting that off, and that's successive boundaries to Tim Robinson. Lawson to Gooch. Short, beautiful shot. Square on the offside, 4 runs. All the strength and power into that big frame of Graham Gooch going into that. Another over from McDermott.
Well, umpire Dickie Bird there, very worried about McDermott's follow-through, and he certainly looked as far on the wicket then as the official warning that Phil Edmonds got yesterday.
And that's gone. Beautifully picked up by Border at slip. So the first blow struck by McDermott. Robinson, the man, gone. It's 21 for 1. And the opener's out for 10.
Craig McDermott getting that ball just in the right place. Good length, off stumpish, just outside. And just a little bit of bounce. And Robinson a little bit away from his body with the bat there, which is probably the reason they edged it.
McDermott then to Gower. And a warning out there. First warning there to captain, the other umpire, and to McDermott. It's follow through, encroaching once again on the pitch. So Gooch on 10. Lawson the bowler. And beaten. Good delivery there from Lawson. Gooch committed to the stroke.
Botham has perfected, if that's the word, this idea of being a long way up on the first slip. Rather tends to indicate to me the first slip might be a bit deep. It's not readily accepted by those who are fielding in that position. It's not the only thing that's not readily accepted either. I'm just wondering if Boone might have slipped a fraction there as he started to go to his left for the ball. And I'm just wondering if it was because he couldn't quite get the grip with that right foot. And I think that that's exactly what happened. I think his foot slid away to the right. I wouldn't have a bar of rubber sole shoes. I don't care how comfortable they might be. I don't think they can possibly give you as good a grip as spikes.
Another no ball. Just bring a single to Gower this time.
McDermott is putting a lot into this. He's bowling very quickly. It's not obvious to see because the pitch is so slow, but he's putting a great deal of energy and effort and just overstepping that mark again.
So Gower to face Lawson. No balls, just as well.
So it's been a struggle for Jeff Lawson. And clearly over there. And then he'd be counting his bad luck because David Gower would have played that anyway.
Yes, it's been much the same case, hasn't it, since they changed the no ball rule off the front foot. Batsman really is committed in any case. Beat the slips, raced away down the third man for 4 runs. All the way along the ground, no possible chance there.
So the luck going to David Gower, and certainly not to Jeff Lawson, who did well, bowled well, to find the thick outside edge of the bat.
Short, hooked away in great style. That's 4 runs to Gower, bringing up the 50. Right across outside the line and hit it very powerfully right over long leg. 88 balls for that 50 runs.
4 more runs added up to the luncheon break to take Gower on to 19 and Gooch on to 18. There were 40 minutes lost due to rain and bad light in that first session, and that amounted to 10 overs to be taken off the minimum 90 to be bowled in a full day's play. 55 for 1, and it was tough going for the Australians out there, with both Gooch and Gower starting to play very well up to the interval. We pick up play now in the 3rd over after lunch. 5 runs have been added. McDermott is the bowler, and he's coming into Gower. And Gower's got the pace of this pitch. Great save. Beautiful time, because this outfield isn't all that quick. The wind may have dried it out a little, but there's no full value for strokes today, as indeed was the case yesterday. The Australians not quite up to 12 overs per hour. So they're bowling about 70 balls an hour. It is ridiculously low. Geoffrey Lawson now to Graham Gooch.
Good shot again, this time on the offside off the back foot. Matthews feeling the hair in after that one. Tremendous piece of enthusiasm there in the field, but all to no avail in the end. And, a nicely timed shot there from Gooch.
Yeah, that was a very good shot indeed. Off the back foot on this slow wicket and going back straight past back bowler shows what power Gooch has.
See another bowling change taking place here. This is Simon O'Donnell. That's short and 4 runs. Might have been a good length in Australia, but certainly no point in pitching it there on a slow Old Trafford wicket. looked as though it might be a good shot when he set off. Looking through extra cover for that, and finishing up with 4 down the fine leg.
Graham Gooch trying to just hit it on the hop a little bit through covers and getting a thick inside edge, which must have been very, very close indeed to the leg stump.
Leg spin Holland. The umpire's injured. Yes, he hit that pretty hard, as you can see now. The power of Gooch into that. Very late to take evasive action there. And there were no thanks from Graham Gooch there. A single instead of 4. So Harold Bird will remember the 100 going up at Old Trafford. And it's Simon O'Donnell. Single there. And there is, in fact, the 5,000 runs recorded up there for Davy Gower. He's the 9th Englishman to do that.
Outside edge. Richie is the fielder, but it will just beat him into the rope. .50 for Graham Gooch. Beautiful straight drive.
Super shot by Graham Gooch. Let the ball come to him, didn't try to force. Timed it beautifully, straight blade of the bat.
O'Donnell to resume.
Boone has put down his 2nd for the day. That was difficult. It was going much finer than he'd have liked. Question of whether Phillips could have got across.
He has been standing wide to the left-hander and the right-hander. That was a first slip catch, but he had to go a yard or 2 to his left.
He'll have some trouble saving that one. Lovely pieces of timing from Graham Gooch today. And those pitches where you need to get in and adjust your timing. Good shot. Coming around the wicket on a good batting track. Nothing to work on out of the rough left by the bowlers. Can be a little hazardous. He left absolutely no margin for error. Four more.
Just where Davy Gower likes it, and loves to open the face of the bat and hit it quite square on the offside, quite square between cover and point.
There it goes again. Two runs added up to the tea interval. Gower on 46, Gooch 73. Not a wicket to fall there, and that was very heartening indeed, so far as the England team was concerned. Not so good for the Australians, because they laboured on a pitch that was just as dead and lacking in as much bounce as was the case yesterday. We pick up play now with just a single added. McDermott bowled all the time from the Warwick Road end prior to tea, coming up into a stiff breeze. Here he is now with the breeze at his back, and Graham Gooch is taking straight.
Beaten by a bit of pace there, and he's gone. And there's the extra pace of McDermott, seeing the end of Graham Gooch, went onto the back foot. That kept a little low, but it was a much, much quicker delivery. So Gooch goes LBW for 74, and it's 142 for 2.
Yes, certainly I felt McDermott should have bowled from this end, and he certainly beat Graham Gooch on pace there, because even though it did keep a bit low, I think he was certainly through in before the bat came down, and it looked pretty straight, did that.
That's a good hand there from Graham Gooch. Still short of that 3-figure score. He's really been looking so hard for. Slight change in the field. Or Mike Gatting. That's a good stroke. Confident way for Mike Gatting to get off the mark. Just lent into that nicely for 4 runs. There's a hook shot. And they're looking. Not quite sure whether he went over, but Gower's on his way, and that really was a brilliant catch down at long leg. McDermott strikes again. Gower goes for 47, and some little doubt as to whether he could hold it and stay inside the rope, but he did it successfully, and it was a superb catch down at long leg. But, a fine firm shot, really middled it, and there we can see the catch, brilliantly taken. He goes back, and as you can see, just stays inside the ropes, so it really was a tremendous catch. Alan Lamb comes in then at 148 for 3 to join Mike Gatting, and this is the man who's done the damage in action now from the Stretford end, Greg McDermott. Turned away very neatly down to long leg. So another 4 good runs there to Mike Gatting, got off the mark with a punchy straight drive for 4. Slip and a silly point in now with Alan Lamb to face the leg spinner. That's where he can't bowl, of course. And, quite a bad delivery, but it's just desserts.
He was drawn into it. McDermott letting go the bouncer. He must have known that there's a chance it would have been swatted away for 4. Gatting's a pretty good puller and hooker. Well, the shout there was for the ball having come from Alan Lamb's bat onto his foot, I think. How interesting. Bet your life, I think that was a catch. Outside edge, and put down. The reaction of the players from everywhere was to go up. Charge even before the bowler's arm came over.
Well, you won't see a better cover drive than this if you watch cricket all year. Down the wicket, beautiful follow through, head perfectly still, and that was at the boundary in no time at all.
That's 4, and up comes the 200. Border can't catch that. Upfield's still not all that quick. That was very well timed. Mike Gatting, 201, 202 for 3 now. Always very wise to wear something like that to avoid sunstroke.
Lawson to low. It's a good stroke. We're half volley on the leg stump, clipped away in fine style there for 4 runs. Well, getting everything right there, feet moving into the correct position, beautifully timed. Takes him on now to 31. Holland still round the wicket, concentrating leg stump and outside it. Much to the delight this time of Gatting, who managed to get hold of it right off the meat of the bat before runs through mid-wicket.
Score went on to 233 for 3 at the close, with Gatting and Lamb very much in command. 45 to Gatting, who played some lovely shots, or as many as one could have on this pitch, and Alan Lamb, 38 not out, played well within himself, and England have done very well in a day where there was hardly any pace coming from the pitch for them to play their strokes, and certainly very little pace for the bowlers. Lawson, none for 56, bowled pretty well early on. McDermott, the successful bowler. Holland, O'Donnell and Matthews, nothing at all against their names except runs. And England just 24 runs. That morning of the